Hello everyone and welcome back to The Novelist. I am William Strife, and I have to apologize. Whenever I did a slice video of The Novelist, back in December now it was, I was not intending to actually do a full playthrough of this. I didn't expect anybody to have a really good response to it, and I've just had a whole lot on my plate since December, so this kind of fell by the wayside despite, interest by you guys, and, now I've finally gotten around to recording some more. I actually recorded 2 episodes in one single session for the slice video, but whenever I got to the cutting board, I was like, oh, geez, there's too much. I'll just keep it to that first episode there, the first chapter of the story, if you will. And I had the second episode already. It's just I didn't want to release it until I knew for certain that I had time to get some recording in. And I have recording time now, so for you guys, you don't really need the story so far. I checked that out just to refresh myself. But we're heading into Chapter 3, so let's just hit continue. The funeral. Uh-oh. That night, Linda got a phone call. Uh-oh. What have we got going here? I'm gonna have to reacquaint myself with the, Okay, I got time. I got space.
Anne, I just got off the phone with Mom. She told me about Grandma Jo. I know we expected it sooner rather than later, but this is hitting me so much harder than when Granddad died last year. Do you remember going to Grandma Jo's house after school on Wednesdays and playing until Mom got off work? How Grandma Jo always had a surprise for us? Even if it was just cookies in the oven, she'd always time it so the whole house would smell like them when we got there. I hope the minister captures those little moments because they don't seem as little now. I wish the circumstances were different, but it will still be good to see you at the funeral. What am I saying? You probably won't even get this until after the funeral. I guess I just needed to write anyway. Love, Linda.
Oh my god. That's a really heavy opener. Forgot here. Mark of the 21st of this month for your calendars for one day only. Watch the world famous Fighter 5 as they scream across the sky. Witness death-defying feats flying in a display unlike anything you've ever seen. Guaranteed to blow you away. Don't miss it. Oh god. Now there's something I don't want to have to choose between. I think that... Is that something over... I don't think that that's something for me to check out. What else is there around here? Clues to what's going on. There's a bucket. Is there anything on the tables out? There's a note on the wall. Okay. Call Paul first thing tomorrow morning. Any possible way to move it? Is this thing announced yet? Uh-oh. I gotta say, if there's, if there's, oh geez, if there's some sort of a choice between a funeral and something involving the book, or, that, like, jet flying session or something, I know which one I'm gonna choose. Are there any notes on the counters, or anywhere hanging around in here? What's that? What do we have?
Most of you here knew my grandmother. For those who didn't, I truly wish you had. She was an example for all of us. Her warmth, her caring, and her smile were impossible to forget. It's still hard for me to believe she's gone. Without her, the world is...
Oh man, talk about a heavy episode. I wasn't looking for something this serious. Jeez, what a great place to leap right back into it. How am I supposed to get over to the other room there? Here we go. Okay. Dan, what do we have going on here? I don't think there's anyone around. Check this out.
Oh no. Joe's funeral's the same day as the signing in Eugene, and Paul says they can't move it. He'll understand if I bail because he knows Linda, but Grovefield is a different story. They won't give a damn why I missed it. They'll just get a memo and put it in a spreadsheet somewhere and write me off just a little bit more. And it's not just the timing. If I do the reading, I've got to get that chapter in shape. It's not even remotely ready for anyone to see it. Can't worry about what Paul says. He's my agent. He's supposed to stroke me. And what about Tommy?
Wait a minute, no one is around. No, nothing else? Possess another lamp? Ugh. After getting caught last time, what have we got here? Picture of a fighter jet. Quite clearly, the son is super interested in going to Fighter, or the jet show. Yep, there he is with like a fighter pilot or something. Okay, okay, search the house for... and his memories for clues. Search his memories for more clues. Okay, so I'm missing 2 clues. One for Dan, one for Linda. I don't think I've checked inside the studio yet. Let's hop in there, see what's going on. This game goes by a whole lot faster whenever you've got a proper understanding and feeling.
I walked out to the bluff to remember Grandma Joe and say goodbye. And on the way back, I started thinking about what it really means to have a family, to make that your focus. She seemed to take such joy in being surrounded by her family, providing for them, taking care of them. I hope I never took that for granted. When I got back to the house, a question hit me that I can't get out of my head. What will Tommy think about Dan and me when he gets older? And what if Tommy has kids of his own? I can't even begin to think of myself as a grandmother. I haven't even been a mother for that long, and I'm still feeling my way through what it means to be a good one. At least I'll always have an example. I miss you, Grandma Joe, and I'll never forget you. I promise.
Man. I really want to feel... I feel like I should make some sort of a joke out of this, but... you know, some sort of a meme or something, but it's just so damn heavy. Jeez. Don't catch me, don't catch me, don't catch me. Dan, big news. Got a call from the Bracket Books in Eugene, and they want you to do a reading from Windsong, maybe even some Q&A, some book signings, all that good stuff. I think you should do it. In fact, I'm going to be pretty pissed off if you don't. Bracket is a big outlet, so if this goes well, orders for the new book will definitely go up. I don't need to remind you how long it's been since Tamra's Way came out. If you don't keep your name out there, no one will even notice you when you finish the new book, whatever it's called. Hell, speaking of the new one, why don't you read some of it too? Maybe the second chapter you sent me last month. That one was pretty good. Bracket Books, Eugene, the 21st. See you there, Paul. P.S. You know the long game, right? Nailing this could mean a bigger advance on the next book. Oh, we talk about troubles for this family. Okay, I'm down to searching memories. Well, I know which way I'm gonna go already. I don't even have to think about it. Have to be the 21st? Where is everybody? Searching memories is the most dangerous part of gameplay here. So, not in here.
Stop.
What about the kid? I suppose he's in his room.
Here we go.
E, flicker.
Ooh, it's messed up.
There we go. What do we got? Him and his dad? Okay, I can hear it. There's another one somewhere down here. There it is.
I'm sure she is, honey.
Is she in heaven?
Oh boy. Okay, exit memory. Repossess the lamp. Okay, where's Linda?
Why did he do that?
She's downstairs. Dan's downstairs. Okay. What do his memories have to reveal us?
Just be here for me.
Lynn, I'm so sorry. Tell me what I can do.
Okay. And is the other one in the studio? No, probably up in his son's room. Oh, no, wait. It's not his son's room. The son is really not the focus of this chapter, it's Linda.
Just got back from town with the latest issue. Flipped to the back and there it was. My book in the up next column. Stared at it for 5 minutes. Feeling in my stomach was not pleasant. But now it's out there. It's terrifying and irreversible. Maybe I should have placed a full ad. But even like this, the book is out there. Thousands of people are going to read that list. To them, the book is exactly what they want it to be. Some finished, beautiful thing. If only they could see it right now. A bunch of jigsaw pieces on the floor. And I've got to put them all together. Fast.
He's got some real, problems. Challenges. Now all I gotta do is try to figure out how to read Linda's thoughts without getting caught. Jeez. Pretty sure. Read his thoughts. Oh, right. Okay, do some work on the chapter first. And, the sun? Magazine says there's gonna be tons of planes. Where's the mother? Linda! Are you, There we go. Okay. What sort of terrible, heavy things are on her mind? I can't even imagine. Oh, she's writing in her journal again. What is it this time?
Stared at a blank canvas again today. Got a few strokes in, but I don't like any of them and I'll probably paint over them tomorrow. It's so frustrating going into that room every day and trying to keep working. It's easy to get out of the house for errands or go for a hike, but none of that helps the work as much as being around other artists. I'm not gonna give up. Maybe I can use this feeling in my new piece. Definitely. I'll try that out tomorrow.
Well, that's a surprise. I was expecting some big, heavy, disappointing, depressing, which is right here. Oh, so much fun. Okay, read her thoughts. Needs a call, buy a ticket. Okay, the funeral. He needs to call and buy a ticket if he's coming to the funeral. Okay, well, I'd really like to dedicate time to Dan's book because I understand what it's like to have a career hanging in the balance and needing to sort that out to actually be successful and everything. But, I just can't deny the importance, the absolute paramount value of... Okay, there's the phone. Alright, well, I'm gonna chance it. Okay, selecting the phone, we'll choose Linda's resolution for this chapter. Dan and Tommy will be disappointed. However, if you've discovered Dan or Tommy's desired outcome and haven't spooked them, you'll be able to find a compromise with one of them in the next chapter. E, to choose. There we go. I've dedicated. Now it's time to look around the house and find out about the past, the history. What's going on with this house? Last time I played, if I'm not mistaken, it was all about the guy who actually owns this house. He's figured out that he can buy it and he can rent it out because nobody seems interested in using it or keeping it. It just keeps changing hands. Rightfully so, because it's haunted. So, what's in this journal? From the desk of Harold Baxter, January 22nd, 1948. A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest, but given its history of frequent ownership changes, I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. I believe I can set up a trust or perhaps a shell company and convince Mr. Lowry that he must part with the property for less than market value. I feel certain I can appeal to his conservative nature. I believe it will provide to be a shrewd investment as a rental property, and I think I now understand why people do not stay for extended periods. I find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here I have found my mind drifting in strange ways, as if it was not always my own. But the natural beauty is undeniable. perhaps shorter visits are a wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe this is a fine idea indeed. Okay, so this Baxter character has indeed figured out what I thought he would, that there is something wrong with the house. He has, on some level, figured out that the place is haunted by me, a ghost, and he's also figured out that it's just flat out not going to work as an owned property. It's a whole lot better for people to hang around for very short periods of time. There might be another note somewhere up in the house here. For some reason, I doubt it, though. What do we have? Do some serious work on the chapter first. Yeah. Dan is going to get the compromise. You know, if nothing else, since he's dedicating his time to working with dealing with the funeral of Linda's grandmother, the absolute least that can be done, especially after his son was sent to camp, the absolute least that can be done is giving him extra time to work on his book, because that's something that I really want Dan to be able to sort out, at least in a decent manner, even if it's not, you know, like an absolute splash success. So let's choose the manuscript. I can't find anything else in the house, so I'm figuring that this is the end of this chapter. Selecting this, we'll choose Dan's compromise for this chapter. Yes. Up into Dan's room it is, and I'll tell him what to do. Dan couldn't bear the thought of Linda going to the funeral alone, so he bought a ticket and flew to Denver with her. The funeral was hard for Linda, but having Dan there made it easier to bear. They stayed up late that night for the funeral as Linda told Dan stories about Grandma Jo as they talked, maybe being grandparents themselves one day. Dan talked Paul into a compromise. He would work on the chapter and send it to Paul as soon as he could. Then Paul would try to talk Brackett into including an excerpt in the quarterly in-store preview. It wouldn't have the same impact as personal appearance, but it would still build some awareness. When Dan told Tommy that they wouldn't be able to go to the show, Tommy had a crying fit and tried to tear up the magazine. It worried his parents. He hadn't thrown a fit like that for almost a year. It was exactly the type of thing they'd hoped to avoid by spending the summer in such a quiet, peaceful place. Harsh. And that's how the Kaplan's first month at the house on the cliff came to an end. Dan sent what he had so far to Paul. It went badly. Dan knew the work wasn't very good, and Paul echoed that judgment. He promised to keep the news from Goverfield for the time being, but told Dan that without a major improvement in the quality, oh boy. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and drove into town for a date. Dan surprised Linda by giving her a necklace he'd snuck into town to buy the day before, and Linda was surprised him back that she gave him a watch that he had his eye on. When they got home, they crept upstairs and made sure Tommy was asleep, and made love. The next day, Dan made good on a promise to take Tommy into the woods and look for arrowheads, so they drove to the site of Suslaw settlement and got to work. Dan and Tommy had fun digging around the dirt, getting messy, and looking for artifacts. They found a handful of arrowheads, which Tommy proudly showed his mother whenever they got home. Ooh-wee. They still had 2 more months on the coast, and their story was just beginning. Okay, so this is something that I gotta reverse. Looks like his book isn't doing too well, and that's really something that I want coming up.